Don't cry, little marathon fan. We have enough Destiny 2 API leaks to feed your entire life. Jerry, bring out the ale of one ports. The boy's hungry.
All right, everybody, I got some updates for you regarding the Emblem that was found in Destiny's files after Act 2 of Episode Heresy released. The community did some amazing work to put forward a bunch of new theories and corrections to stuff I got wrong. So thank you to everyone who got involved and joined our chat to work on this, especially in the Discord. Even those who were just there to meme offered some respite from the puzzling, and I appreciate you all. So to begin, let's start with the sole interpretation of the lines on the emblem. Speakeasy joined the Discord and pointed out that my interpretation leaves off the final two dots. I have no idea how I did this, but it indicates that it is most likely not Morse code. If, for some reason, it was still Morse code, we would have these two additional dots, which could indicate that it translates to solely, which Speakeasy tells us translates to alone in Latin, or soars, which translates to fate in Latin, which I guess could be interesting, but I can't really think of any direct Latin tie-ins, which is something Speakeasy points out in his message as well within the Marathon universe. Speakeasy also adds that the design does feature 8 characters. Now, utilizing the maritime signal flags, we were assuming that that circle in the beginning just, I guess, represented like the initiation or the start of a sequence of characters that would have a meaning, but we could be looking for an 8-character word given those symbols. And while we're speaking about the symbols on the Destiny emblem, I got this comment on the last video that pointed out something entirely new to me. ToesTubber on YouTube, great name, said that this looks very inspired by Ron Cobb's semiotic standard, which is not something that I have heard of before, but it seems like they were a series of symbols designed for the original Alien movie, and there is a pretty striking resemblance between the characters. Although they don't seem to translate exactly, the idea that these are some sort of sci-fi futuristic symbols used to express concepts maybe to AI or aliens or something, or be kind of universal in some sense that could be understood by a larger universe, is a really cool concept. So, unfortunately, we didn't make any further progress interpreting those symbols as the maritime signal flags, as I talked about before, so that could be a dead end, along with the Morse code, although it is still a pretty cool coincidence, if nothing else. I feel like the maritime flags fit really well, and some of them are so direct that I want to believe we are onto something there, but there are no certainties yet. Could also be tied into a key that we don't have access to yet as well. Next, we had Ace Traveler, our Destiny Raid Sherpa and moderator over on the Discord, put forth this really well put together analysis indicating that the lines may be a pharmaceutical type of barcode. Specifically, he says that it could be a pharmacode one-track barcode that translates to 4559. He also says that the only issue with this is the second white space before the end. It is slightly wider in the image than the actual code, so maybe there is a different correct code. He also provided some links where we could kind of look into it ourselves, and it is a really cool theory put forth. Now, I obviously haven't been able to find any significance or tie-ins to the number 4559, but if anybody listening to this video knows, feel free to let me know in the comments or join the Discord, because this is another avenue that we were tracking on but kind of ended here, and we don't really have anything past this point. Now, moving on to something a little bit different, on March 13th, the Marathon story page covered the discovery of the emblem, and the latter half of the post stated that it reminded Hamish Sinclair, who runs the Marathon story page, of the barcode-like imagery that we saw in the background of the Thief concept art we got at the end of last year. Luckily, this was seen by SG over on Discord, who was able to draw some crazy cool connections as to what this could be. Earlier in the month, Jonesy on the Discord shared a video discussing atypography. Per atypography.com, quote, "Atypography is an art movement that graphically represents traditional writing systems in an unconventional way, creating an authentic design that remains readable while concealing text signs at first glance." Even though we couldn't deduce a meaning from this initial introduction of the premise, SG used this to put forth that the atypographic font being utilized may be MIDI's 5 or MIDI's V. Now, I am a total layman when it comes to this stuff, so I will do my best to explain exactly what atypography is, but know that some of the details may not be entirely precise. Basically, it is a font which does not utilize a traditional format or characters. It seems like it was born from a design-focused perspective to integrate text into imagery where plain text wouldn't be as aesthetically pleasing. To quote the manual from that website, atypography conceals textual content initially, but can be deciphered by anyone given sufficient time. I'm going to explain the rest of what has been discussed as potential solutions, but if this interests you, check out the link to the website below where all of this information is stored. The manual is a fascinating read, and if you like the aesthetic of Marathon, you'll probably love this stuff. SG continued by explaining that the reason why he thought it was most likely a MIDI's 5 type font was because of the spacing, which seemed consistent between both the lines that we got on the concept art and the spacing within the manual for the examples of MIDI's 5 font being used. So SG and Speakeasy tried breaking the block of lines into different sections, distorting them, warping, standardizing them, and were unable to find a one-to-one match with the MIDI's 5 font, or any other A-type font for that matter. So even though this seems like completely the right answer, we were not able to come to any conclusions as to what the message could actually mean. Speakeasy did put forth that it could be a proprietary font. This could mean that we need something we don't have yet to decipher it, but Hamish did claim on the Marathon story page that some have decoded it. Perhaps that's true. So don't let our failure to find a solution yet get you down. I do think that there is an answer to the symbols on the emblems. There's an answer out there to the lines that we saw behind Thief in the concept art. And here's a quote from the Atypography manual that I think should give us a little bit of hope here at the end. If the majority of people can solve the puzzle, it indicates the validity of the A-type design. Conversely, if most people struggle to decipher it, the A-type design requires improvement. So, if this is truly atypography and proprietary made by Bungie for puzzle purposes, there probably is a solution built in that we just haven't been able to figure out yet. And lastly for now, Michael also provided us these clean versions of the symbols from the emblem for people to check out. That is all of the updates that I have regarding this interesting little puzzle or, group psychosis that we're experiencing. And I would just like to conclude by saying that I do believe this was revealed intentionally. Even though they accidentally dropped stuff that was supposed to come later, like the, untextured weapons, those surely were not supposed to be there. But I do think that Bungie has an understanding that these issues occur frequently. And if they truly wanted something absolutely kept secret, they probably wouldn't risk even including it, right? Perhaps the Sparrow leak was intentional as well to kind of gauge interest and see the response to it in case they wanted to make last-minute design changes. With that being said, it does inspire confidence if this is true, because it could indicate that Bungie cares about listening to player feedback to shape an experience that is most desired by players. If you have any thoughts on what could be going on with any of this, please put forth your ideas in the Discord community or in the comments below. I appreciate you all. Have a good one.